my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say.
Hey, we're back. We're back with Ready to Love Miami's Mark Anthony. Hey, Mark Anthony.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, good people?
Wow, hey. It's good to see you. And you too, Alex. You're looking good.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Mark Anthony, for being here. We really appreciate you.
Yes,
I appreciate you guys inviting me on your platform.
Yeah, but I have an announcement to make, because a few weeks ago, you know, I'm tired of these good-looking guys coming up here showing me out.
All right, I'm enjoying it.
But it's making me look bad. So a few weeks ago, here come Blue with his sparkling, gorgeous eyes, right?
Blue so then,
eyes, so then here come Blake with his chiseled chin and muscles, right?
Oh, don't forget about the dimples. He's got dimples.
Yeah,
the dimples.
You keep them dimples, man. Them dimples deep enough to swim in.
Them dimples, man. And now here comes Mark Anthony with them good old schoolboy looks. It's like, where does that leave me? So, anybody got something to say tonight? I got my Green Lantern shirt on. I'm ready to fight. And if that's not enough, I even got the lamp. You know?
Oh, snap, yo. Yo, that's the craziest prop I've seen all year so far. That is the craziest prop. I've never seen an actual Green Lantern lantern. For real.
This right here, this guy is Mr. Comic Book. He's very talented in the comic book area and has actually created a whole series, a comic book. Yes.
Yeah, Mark Anthony.
So I gotta check that out.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, most definitely.
We appreciate you being here, bro. And you know, we had a few of your peoples on before you. Just a great season of Ready to Love. And we enjoyed all you guys, you know, for the most part. But of course, Ready to Love is but a fraction of your life. And I'm gonna ask you first, when Blake was here, he was referring to you as Saint. And at first, Aubrey and I didn't know who he was talking about.
Yeah.
So what do you prefer, Mark Anthony or Saint?
I'm fine with either. Saint is my nickname. It's been my nickname since high school. So once I got friendly with some of the guys on the show, they noticed that some of my friends called me Saint. So they just kind of just gravitate to call me Saint. But I'm fine with either, Mark Anthony or Saint. You know, as long as it's within my name, it's fine.
Yeah, we'll keep Mark Anthony because the fans and everything know you as that. You know.
That's fair.
Yeah. So let me ask you this to start out, because since you had a life before Ready to Love, you know, where were you born and raised? Coming up,
right? I was originally born in Harlem, and I was raised between New York City, around the city, Upper West Side Harlem, and Port-au-Prince, Haiti. So I split my time living between Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and New York until I finally moved back up here when I was around, I think, 13. And just like Blake, I finished high school in Jersey, and I came back to New York.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So
I feel like
I said, what were the biggest differences between, because you went back and forth a lot. So what were the biggest differences culturally between New York and Haiti?
Man, it's just a massive cultural difference between the two. Obviously, you know, Haiti is a third world country, so it's just massively different. But it's just hard to pinpoint because everything just seems different. I mean, you have a big metropolitan city like New York where everybody's different from each other, but they all live in the same place. You know, you could be sitting on the train and I could be sitting right next to a Filipino person, a Spanish person, you know, somebody from Ecuador, and, you know, it's literally a melting pot. Haiti, obviously full of Haitians, but there's variations of people in Haiti also. But it's just, I mean, it's hard to pinpoint, man. It's just a completely different life. Island life. Things are much slower in Haiti. It's hot all year round. You know, you know, compared to here, you know, we have 4 seasons, although like I feel like the winter season just keeps getting longer and longer. And you know, summer and spring is just like the interim between that and winter. But yeah, I'd say probably the biggest difference is just not only the climate, just the lifestyle. You know, down there is just different. What about the
speaking the French? Do you speak French fluently?
I actually used to speak French fluently with my mother when I was much younger. But the French kind of left when you're just attending school. You're spending most of your time with your friends and stuff like that. So, but I could still watch movies in French, and I speak Creole. So Creole is like the main language in Haiti. French tends to be the secondary language because Creole kind of is a derivative from French a little bit.
Yeah. Can you say something special to the ladies in French? The ladies that's listening in French,
including myself. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I could say.
What are you trying to insinuate, sir?
Je m'appelle Marc Anthony et je suis ici avec Alex et Aubrey. So my name is Mark Anthony, and I'm here with Alex and Aubrey.
Keep talking. You notice that Aubrey is a French name, so keep talking, dear.
Yeah. My French is very, very limited. That's when I start stumbling and not knowing what I'm saying.
You can repeat that same phrase over and over, but that's okay. I'll tape it. I'll cut it out of the video.
Cut it out of the video and keep it on repeat. That's fine.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. So Mark Anthony, how did you went back and forth? I was going to ask you about schooling. How did you maintain, you know, steady schooling, running back and forth so much?
Man, that's the part that's kind of crazy because I did most of my early formative years in schooling in Haiti. But whenever there was an embargo in Haiti, I'd move back to New York, and and that's what I have to go to school in New York. Then I'll transfer back to Haiti. Okay. So it was mostly during embargoes or holidays, and all my summers I spent in New York.
Yeah. Were you ever there in Haiti when one of these disasters hit or anything of that, natural disasters?
No, but I went back to Haiti when the year after the earthquake, though, which was 2010. So I went there 2000, the big one. But I wasn't there for any. I'd say I wasn't there for any cataclysmic disaster or anything like that. There were minor disasters here and there, but nothing that was just nothing comparable to the one in 2010.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah,
that was
devastating.
My daughter was on a ship with Leath there with the Navy, Comfort, I believe it's called, the Comfort ship. That is all the full medical team. The whole ship is just medical personnel primarily. And you're welcome, but it was devastating. I mean, I wasn't there, but I got a lot of firsthand reports and saw pictures. That was just heartbreaking to even look at.
Yeah, and I know
it was horrendous. Yeah,
I know Wyclef and his wife got heavily involved at that point, and you know, it was rough.
Yeah, it was a rough one. Yeah, it was a rough one. Kind of set Haiti back. You know, a long time for that. But but the Haitian people, they're very durable, very resilient group of people. So they always come back, everything like that. Yeah. We're really strong people. So I knew it'd be fine.
Yeah. So coming up through school, as you went, but you did most of your schooling in New York. So coming up through school, you said you would hang out with your friends and these kind of things. Now, what kind of friends were these?
I'll say New York and New Jersey also. Sorry.
New York and New Jersey? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, were these friends, you know, dudes, whatever, trying to get you in trouble? or were these a bunch of women you was hanging around trying to smash? Which one was it? Yeah.
Yo,
Alex.
Hey, we might as well jump right into it. My friends, luckily, like obviously we'd get to the normal little, city trouble or running around Jersey trouble. I never really hung out with any real street friends. Like luckily I was able to stay away from that. But it would just be casual trouble, staying up really late, stuff like, jumping turnstiles or even jumping the platform, just crazy stuff, but nothing completely out of hand. And but for the most part, we just played basketball, a lot of sports, but minor trouble, nothing out of hand. And obviously would, cut school sometimes to talk to girls, so there was always a lot of that. That was always happening.
Man, Mark Anthony, one time I'll tell you, because I'm from New York, I'm from Brooklyn.
Right.
And one time I was trying to jump, you look around the train station, you don't have any money, so you're going to jump the turnstile. This was years ago,
jump
right?
Turnstile, yeah,
so
of course.
I jumped the turnstile, tripped over the turnstile, went face first, right?
Is that why? No, never mind.
Your Aubrey's foul.
Yeah, it's crazy. So by the time I'm looking up, I'm laying on my stomach. I see two boots coming to the frame.
Oh man,
police boots, right?
Yeah.
But check it. I get up, just this gorgeous police woman, and I'm like,
"Oh man,
where the hell did you come from?" Because I didn't see her at first, right? But I was so embarrassed because how you going to be broke, jump the turnstile? Now I can't spit no game at her.
You can't kick the game. Yo, you know what? Believe it or not, I actually flirted my way out of a turnstile ticket once. From one of the lady cops. I swear on my life. Swear on my life. It was because these tickets are like $100.
What?
Yeah, they're $100. Yeah, $100 tickets if you jump the turnstile. So I managed to actually flirt my way out of one ticket, but every other ticket was a guy giving me tickets. I was like,
You see, Aubrey, this is what I'm talking about. See, he can do that. Look how he looks. See, I tried that, and she put me in handcuffs. So that's the difference right there.
Good. I wish I had a picture of that. Did they have cell phone cameras back then? I would love to put a big poster and put that in my office.
Lord, so crazy, man. So, Mark Anthony, growing up, you're going through your teenage years and so forth. When did you first really start to, get into girls or women and so forth? And when was the first time you recall being in love, if ever, or feeling like you were in love?
Oh man, I think by the time I got to high school, that's when I started really talking to women. I started talking to the girls. I mean, middle school you had crushes, but they were kind of like very, very benign, very innocuous relationships. But by the time you get to high school, you're with other high schoolers that are older than you. So if I'm coming in at 14, there are guys that are 15, 16, 17, or even 18. So you're around older kids, and they're talking to women, they're talking to girls. Girls are more developed. So now you're just kind of like, oh wow, I remember last summer, Shorty was like this. Now she's like this. Like this is crazy. You know what I mean? So but one thing I did, I like in middle school, I was always like kind of like not the class clown, but I made people laugh. So I always leaned on that a lot. So I knew that if you could make a girl laugh, you basically have her. So I always leaned a lot on that. So, and I always had a good group of friends. My friends were funny. My friends were cool. My friends were smart. They played, they were into sports. So things, as far as women came natural to me at that point.
Did you have a high school sweetheart or didn't have that?
Yeah, I definitely had a high school sweetheart. My senior year of high school, I had a high school sweetheart. I remember how I remember exactly when I met her. I met her at the bus stop, and I was like, I talked to my man. My man was my boy Rel, who came to the show, my best friend. And I was yeah, I remember I was like, I'm gonna get her number. He's like, no, you're not. You're not just gonna talk to her at the bus stop. I'm like, son, watch me. And then just went right up to her, just introduced myself. I told her I went to school up the block. She told me that she went to that school. And this is obviously a while ago. So this is when you just you wrote your number down. And, and then I had to call you after. I had to call her after 9 because my minutes were free.
Right. I remember that too. Right.
Yeah. So I'd have to call her after 9 because my minutes were free, and then we end up developing a relationship, and that was actually my introduction to caring about a woman that wasn't my family member. So it was a really good relationship.
Was she standing at the bus stop sucking on a lollipop?
I wish. I'd be quoting LL all day if that was the case, man. I wish he was. Matter of fact, if I retell this story, I'm just gonna throw in the lollipop part in it, just cause.
Don't, Mark Anthony. You're such a nice fellow. Don't end up like him.
Alex seemed cool, man. I like Alex.
Yeah. Don't listen to her. I'm mad cool.
Don't listen to him. No, he's not.
Was there anything specific you majored in high school, or did you school after high school, and anything specific that you majored in or that you dreamed of doing that you would be?
Honestly, I wasn't ever sure what I wanted to be. I always thought I was going to be a lawyer because I have lawyers in my family. So I just thought, well, that's what they do. So maybe that's what I should do. But I realized that I wasn't really chasing a passion. I was just chasing it because that's what I saw. My uncle was an attorney, and I was around him from time to time, and I saw how he was revered. I was like, oh, I like something like that. But I realized that there was absolutely no passion behind it. So I just kind of just went through high school and just went to college because I felt like there was nothing else. I'm like, what else am I going to do?
Yeah. What did you major in college?
Well, I didn't know what to major in, so I just majored in liberal arts, but I never finished college. I did 3 years.
Okay. 3 years. So you just having fun?
No, it's not even having fun. Well, it was partly having fun, but I realized, I didn't want to keep on taking out more loans. After my second year, I was like, I was like, this is crazy. And I was like, all right, maybe this is not the route for me. And I was still unsure on what I wanted to do.
Right. So you never had that. You ever had that big dream? And we asked Blake this.
Right.
You ever had the big dream of the family, the wife, the dog, all this other kind of stuff? You ever think about that?
Honestly, all that came in probably my early 30s, late 20s. I did not care about any of this. I just wanted to be in my mind, I wanted to be like the Black Leonardo DiCaprio. I just wanted to date gorgeous supermodels and be rich. That's all I wanted. That's all I felt like I needed. I was like, look, as long as I could not get women pregnant and just stay on this path, I'll be all right.
and stay off a sinking ship.
And stay off.
Obviously, that Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, yes, I get it.
But I would have a higher age bracket. Like it wouldn't have to be like 19 or anything. Like it would be a little bit older than that.
Right.
Yeah. So how did you get to Ready to Love? As we fast forward there, when you sought out, did you apply? How did that whole process come about? And why Ready to Love? Why did you agree to do it?
I actually got sought out, and I got a DM on my IG, and I actually thought the DM was, one of those spam, flyers. And so I didn't really pay attention to it. And they hit me up again. And I looked at the flyer and I just thought to myself, I'm like, I can't do no dating show. This is crazy. You know what I mean? Like this sounds nuts to me. What do I look like doing it? Then I remember my brother talking to my brother, and my brother's like, he's like, son, why not? You date women on TV. And then it's, if you don't like it, you can leave. And it was almost as simple as that. And I spoke to my cousin. She's like, and she's obviously a little bit softer. She's like, Mark, okay, yeah, one, Kevin, my brother, he's right. You could date women on TV, but who knows? You might actually like somebody. But the skepticism in me says, everybody who goes on TV is playing around. There is no love here. You know, people are here to promote their stuff and they're here for a certain agenda, et cetera, et cetera. But she kind of convinced me to say, look, this is a new opportunity to, you know, possibly find somebody. If not, okay, what is there to lose, pretty much? So I just decided on it. I answered them, and I went through the series of interviews, and boom, and I ended up being on the show.
Did you find it simple or kind of grueling just to go through that process?
Man, that process for me was a bit grueling. I know when I spoke to Tony, he said his was almost fast-tracked. I'm like, man, I went through like maybe 2-3 months of like talking to producers, doing this interview here, and a background check. And I was like, and at the time, I was actually before I was actually applying to become a Secret Service. So I was doing those interviews at the same time.
Wow.
So, you know, one day I'm walking out the federal building on J Street in Brooklyn. I used to, I'd get my interview. I'll do my interviews there. Then I'll come home, sit right here, then take off my tie and start speaking to producers about Ready to Love. So I'm just like, you know, living a dual life with these interviews at that particular time.
Wow. So you weren't part of the mixer because you weren't there in the beginning. You were like the curveball, right? I think you came in with Febreze and so forth.
I came in with my man Febreze. Yeah. I came with my man Febreze.
Y'all came in hot. Y'all was coming in hot.
Came in hot, man. He came in hotter though. He came in hotter.
Yeah, he came in real hot. He was on fire.
On fire, man. I couldn't stand a chance against him. I'm like, yo, Febreze is coming through smoking, baby.
Yeah, Febreze came in. This what I'm after. Like it or love it, hate it, whatever.
Love it, man. It's you know what's so funny about that? Febreze and I weren't even supposed to come as curveballs. We were originally supposed to come in the mixer, but it was a last minute thing with us. And they just decided, oh, Mark, instead of coming to the mixer, you're coming in second episode as a curveball. I didn't know what that meant, you know, so I was like, is this a good thing, bad thing? He's like, no, it should be fine because you get your own entrance and stuff. I was like, all right, cool. So Febreze and I end up getting really cool, just sitting in the van waiting, and we were talking for like maybe 4 hours. So I got to know Febreze. Yeah. So I got to know Febreze really well, and he's Haitian. So he lived in Haiti, and you know, we talked a bit about our upbringing because I lived in Haiti as a kid too. So we were able to talk about that for a little bit. And so by the time we got to the mixer, not the mixer, the brunch. That's when things just, you know, when real, you know, Ready to Love really started for me.
Yeah. So you come in and Blake kind of threw you under the bus when he was here. You know. So,
yeah.
And since he said
shout to Blake, baby.
Yeah, what's up, Blake? That's my man there, right? So he came in and he said, look, when Mark Anthony said, he asked you, who's your top and who's your bottom? And you said, well, Jeffrey's my top, or who's your bottom? Jeffrey. So he's like, what is that? So maybe you can explain it. How can she be your top and bottom?
She was my top and bottom because Jeffrey and I actually linked up in the beginning also, but they kind of showed that later on in the episode. But the reason why she was in my top is because obviously she, you know, she was nice, she was cordial, she was really pretty woman. She really catered to me. But the reason why she was in my bottom is because, you know, I'm a skeptical New Yorker. So as soon as you're too nice to me, and I feel like there's something going on, and she ingratiated herself way too early to me. By the time I got to my first deliberation. So I felt like, I don't know, is she playing a game? Because I could see that all the rest of the guys are kind of saying the same things that I am. That, like she's always checking up on me, she does this and does that. I'm like, she's doing the same thing to me. But at the same time, I do understand that it is a numbers game in the beginning. It is what it is. So, but my skepticism was still there because I'm like, I don't know how genuine this really is. So I got her in my bottom just in case, you know, I'm, you know, just in case, I'm wrong about her.
Okay. Now, who else struck you that you was like, oh man, it might be her. It might be her. Who else struck you immediately other than Jeffrey?
Well, Jeffrey didn't struck me first. I talked to her a little bit after, but the women that struck me first, it was 3 women. It was Morgan, Mercedes, and Corvea.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Corvea. Ah.
Yeah, Corvea.
Yeah, Corvea like money. See, Febreze came in with,
man.
Listen, he came in with the hot and heavy, and Corvea came in with the dollars. So
yeah, I always felt like, and I joke, I'm really cool with Corvea to this day. I'm like, look, you and Corvea, I said, you and Febreze are like an even exchange. He's like, yo, let's just make this transactional and keep this moving, baby. Because she hates when I say that, but I'm really cool with Cora though. Vea's cool.
Yeah, so you coming as the curveball. Febreze didn't last long, obviously.
No, unfortunately, he didn't last long.
he made an impact, but he didn't last long.
Right.
So you guys are on the boat now at this boat thing. There's another great scene that you were in, and you got to kiss somebody and do a foot massage, and you chose 2 women. You chose Jeffrey, and who's the other one you chose? Mercedes. Right. Now, let me ask you this: which one got the best feet and the best lips?
Ooh, I'd say Mercedes for both, and I'll say Mercedes lip wise much better. Now, not to slander Jeffrey, but it is what it is, because Mercedes and I, when we kiss, it's just much more passionate. Wow. Okay. Wow. So that says a lot. So, because you said I got 2 of them, it's like yeah, I'm not. Yeah, the producers were trying to make me pick one. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna keep it. So I got 2. I'm not. Y'all ain't about to mess up my connections. I'm giving 2 foot massages. Nah, that's not about to happen.
Bro, I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at
you. Appreciate it. I'm like, I'm not about to let y'all mess up my connections at all.
Yeah. So the other thing that got crazy on that boat is when and you guys saw it later, I guess, because while you're filming, you don't see everything, and then editing sometimes plays a part.
Right.
But what was your thoughts on how Jeffrey and Blake interacted? Because there was tension all throughout until Blake decided to self-eliminate. What did you get from their tension? What did you feel about that?
Brother, at the time, I had no idea any of that was going on until we got to the big dinner, and then they kind of went back and forth, and Swain went back and forth. That's the first time I saw any of this. I was completely unaware that Blake and Jeffrey had any tension, because for me, I always made a strict policy on both my connections. I don't want to talk about your connections. We're not going to talk about my connections, and you guys are not going to talk about each other. So I never knew the situation with Blake until I saw it for myself, and I didn't even know it lingered that long, because I only saw it once. And by the time we got to the house, it wasn't even an issue at all.
Right. And the thing, do you have anything, Aubrey? Well, we doing all the talking here.
You're good.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for him to say something in French again, but go ahead.
Oh.
Can you just say bonjour, Aubrey?
Bonjour, Aubrey.
Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, you're so funny. Oh my goodness. But the time it came to, I guess it was the Lifeline to vote Corvea off or use it for Corvea or whatever it was. But DeMario was fighting so hard to keep Corvea there. And it seems the way it was edited, everyone else wanted her gone but DeMario. So, and I saw you arguing back and forth, trying to get people to calm down. What was really going on? Because I know it's a lot we didn't see. How tension-filled did that scene get?
The crazy thing is, it was really mostly DeMario and I going back and forth about it. Actually, for me, I don't remember it really being that tense because usually when I argue, I tend to be really loud, especially, I'm not going to hold you. Yo, we were drinking on that boat. So, our voice tends to project. And you know how it is. I could be sitting here arguing to death about like LeBron versus Kobe in the barbershop. But it means nothing, but you're still arguing it to death. So that's just how it was. But the argument was kind of, it got a little tense, but we both understood we weren't disrespecting each other. We were just trying to get our points across. My position was that it was just way too early to use the Lifeline. But I had no issues with Corvea. It wasn't an issue with Corvea. I just didn't want to use the Lifeline so early. But I understood DeMario's position on it because DeMario's position was that was his only connection. That was his sole connection. Because I guess when he saw, at least what it appeared to be on TV, when he saw the kiss with Jeffrey and I, he kind of just pivoted back to Corvea. But I didn't realize that was his only connection. I just didn't want to use the Lifeline because I was like, no, we just got this Lifeline. We might need it for later on.
Right. And it was between, I think her and Marcia was there, and Corvea was sent home.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't it Corvea and Marcia?
No, actually, it was Corvea, Jeffrey, and Marcia up for elimination, and Corvea went home.
Corvea went. Oh, okay. It was 3 of them. Okay.
Yeah, it was 3 of them on the boat. Yeah.
Right, and I know that DeMario was gone not too long after that because that was his
only. Yep, that was his only.
Yeah, his only connection. When did you figure out that you gravitate? I know you said Mercedes had better feet, better lips, everything like that. But when did you really know you would be gravitating more toward her than anybody else at that point? What time was that? What date was that?
It was almost instantly because my only 2 connections were her and Jeffrey. So I knew Mercedes would just fit my lifestyle a lot better. So so I knew it would be almost instantly, but I just didn't know what was going on with her because I know when we first started, she actually had 4 men, including myself, vying for her also. So I didn't know what her connections were looking like. So, but in my mind, I was like, yeah, this is the woman I'm leaving with if I, were to make it to the end. Or if I don't make it to the end, I don't care. She's got my number. She knows where she can find me.
Right. And, when Andre went down with the C19, we say C19 to keep from saying that word. Because, we don't say that word because YouTube has a problem with that word. So
the beer bug.
Yeah. So when Andre went down with the C19, he came back. He seemed very upset with Mercedes for not calling him and checking on him and doing that whole thing. So what do you think that was about? Because Mercedes like, look, out of sight, out of mind. This is a dating show,
Right. I think he was just more disappointed in that fact, but I think he took it way more personally than he should have. He should have, my opinion, he should have just been like, or even just pulled her to the side or text her like, look, I was sick, I thought you'd check up on me, but you didn't. So I guess our connection wasn't as strong. But Dre's a passionate person. So I guess that's how he expressed himself. But my personal opinion is like, hey man, you just gotta get over it, man. Move to another connection.
Right. How do you feel that production do? Because a lot of people have different things to say about production, the narrative that it created. Because they created Blake out to be the villain, and then when he left, they made Tony the victim. Right. And in my opinion, Tony gave them a lot more to feed off than Blake did. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, what are your thoughts about this villainization transferring from Blake to Tony, and how do you feel about those guys? And did production get it right or wrong?
Blake and Tony are both good men. I'm around these guys. I'm mostly Tony's really my guy. Like that's really my brother. But Blake, from my understanding and my interactions with him, he's a good man. So when I saw that edit, it was kind of jarring for me. I'm like, this is not the Blake that I know. Why they're making him seem so crazy and awkward and everything like that, and off-putting. But then again, I'm not really dating Blake. I'm not dating Blake. So so his interaction with the women will be much different than the interactions that he has with the men. So, but I realized that I think it was just split down the middle. So maybe he turned off half the women and the other half were fine with him, because some of the women said he was just fine. He just wasn't my person.
Right. Wow.
And as far as Tony, obviously, look, you can't excuse behavior away. They're capturing your behavior on the show. So Tony does have certain issues that needs, resolution. But obviously, they shorten it to the point where you feel like this is all you see from Tony. Like he's just this madman run amok through the show, when he's like, nah, that's not really how he is, but he's had his issues here and there. So I wouldn't even categorize Tony as that, but I wouldn't excuse some of the behavior either. So he does have some of those issues, but just like reality shows, they just magnify your issues and they extend it a little bit longer than they probably should.
Wow. Do you think, did you have any dates? I know your connection was Mercedes and Jeffrey, more so Mercedes, but a lot of times production doesn't show all the dates as we come to find out.
Man.
So were there any dates that you had that production didn't show, and who with, and how did it go?
Man, I had about 4 dates with Suan. Suan is the person I had the most dates with. As a matter of fact, I think Suan and I always make this joke that we probably know more about each other than everybody else because we've had the most dates with each other. And it's always a pleasure to sit across from Suan and just talk. So Suan and I had about 4 dates. I had a date with Marcia. That was really fun. But by the time we had my date with Marcia, we kind of just talked about our connections. So it was just much more of a friendly encounter. And I had a double date with Morgan, Lyndon, and Suan.
Right.
So
okay. Wow.
I think that's all the dates. Yeah, I think that's all the dates I've had. Yeah.
How did you feel about the guys not using the Lifeline on Jonique? Did you feel like you guys should have used it, or because she was very upset about it? Probably felt like you guys should have used it. Why didn't you guys use it? And what was the discussion like, off camera about that?
Man, that discussion. When I tell you that night, that deliberation night was about 12 hours. We were there from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 in the morning.
What?
It was a long shoot because we had to go have the dinner. Tommy had to speak, and then we all had to say our piece to each other because that dinner was supposed to be kind of like a open forum for everybody to discuss their issues with everybody. So that went on for a long time. Then we had to have 2 deliberations, one for the women and one for the men. And they didn't film this simultaneously. They did this one after the other. So the men, we took a very long time to deliberate. And the reason why Jonique went home was because I think, and it came out in the reunion, so I'm not even saying anything new. Blue did not want to use the Lifeline on Jonique because I guess he said he wanted to date Jonique outside the show. So I was like, hey, you're going to do what you're going to do. But we were trying to use it because we didn't know the next time we'd have the Lifeline. And come to find out, Tommy just kind of took it away from us. Yeah.
Did Blue actually do that? Once she was gone?
No, I as far as I know, I'm unaware that they dated outside the show. I found that out in the reunion when both Blue and Jonique were speaking about it.
Right. Wow.
Wait, hold on, because this is becoming unclear, or maybe it's just to me and all this Moscato that I'm drinking. But so are you saying what you do know, because you were in the deliberations, that it's true that Blue did not go to bat for Jonique? Is that correct?
Yeah, that was a fact. It was confirmed also in the reunion. Because I was there. He didn't want to use the Lifeline, so we just got stuck. Jonique. But I felt like Jonique's man wasn't there So I didn't really feel like, you know, we robbed Jonique from anything at that point, because I guess when I looked at her connections, I think Tony was her main connection. But Tony, remember, Tony had Marcia and Morgan as his top connections. So Jonique would be coming in third string. And I don't really look at Jonique as a third string woman to anybody. So her leaving felt like, okay, maybe her man wasn't there, and, you know, she could just bow out gracefully.
Right. Natural order of things, as it were.
Natural order of things, yeah.
And she was very young. She was only 30.
She's young, 30, big time entrepreneur. You know, Jonique is a powerhouse. She's doing her thing. Yeah.
So, you know, you said you close to Tony. Tony's your dude, right?
Yeah, Tony. Yeah, Tony's my man. 100 grand.
Natasha left early, okay, and apparently had this entanglement with Tony.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You know, it blew up it kind of blew up at the reunion or whatever.
Right.
But what were your thoughts about that? Because I know you were right there, front and center, front seat for all of this kind of stuff.
Right.
What were your thoughts? Because he was pursuing Morgan hard at that point. Natasha was gone. They wasn't supposed to see each other after she left. So what were your thoughts regarding that? And what was going on behind the scenes?
Well, I mean, to be fair to Tony, he got Natasha's number really early. He talked to Natasha before him and Morgan became really close. So the whole entanglement happened very early before him and Morgan really got close. And personally, I never saw it as big of a deal as everybody else, because I felt like this is their private life. Let them deal with this privately. So if he wants to talk to Morgan about it, just to let her know, like, look, you know, this happened with me and Natasha, and, you know, I think, you know, but I'm actually feeling you, then I think it should be left in private. I just personally don't think that it should have been aired for everybody else to know. But my whole point, like my position on this was, damn, this is crazy. You know, I was like, this is really crazy. Like, you know, because I'm in the back, you know, in the reunion, because, you know, Tony and I snuck some Hennessy in, and we were drinking. I'm like, I pulled him to the side. I'm like, yo, son, like if this drops, this is gonna be bad. And then when it dropped, I was in the back watching. I think I was laid up with Mercedes, kind of laughing about it. Like, all right, we're gonna go back when this airs. We're gonna end up just laughing about this later on.
Yeah. Now it's crazy. That whole thing was crazy.
But with all due respect to Natasha, I think that RTL dropped the ball by airing it out, because I don't think she should have been. I don't think her business should be. Yeah, I don't think her. Yeah. And it's Tony's business too. So I don't think their business should have been put on blast like that.
Yeah, but that was the main question. Who spilled the beans? Did Natasha spill the beans, or did production spill the beans, or did even Tony spill the beans?
Tony spilled the beans.
Word is that production spilled the beans, but I don't know who told production. That's the thing. And I don't think, you know, I don't know. I don't think Tony or Natasha are going to shoot themselves in the foot and just tell production. It kind of makes no sense. Or I don't know, maybe one of them told the production that they're one of them's dating each other, and then production kind of took it as an insinuation that, you know, maybe they're sleeping with each other. I have no idea. But to this day, I don't know the inception of that question. I have no idea.
Yeah, and you know, Tony and not Mercedes, Morgan had this thing, this kind of toxic thing back and forth, this toxic attraction all season, right? And Morgan brought an ex on that she introduced, but she had put Nair in the dude's hair at one point and took his hair out or whatever while he was sleeping. Now, she took his hair out, but since Tony's your boy, did you kind of talk to him about that? Because he may wake up and something else may be missing. So did you?
Oh my goodness. We could only dream about that.
Yo, you know what? And it's funny, that story. I actually had a date. I just forgot I had a date with Morgan, and Morgan told me the same story. And I was thinking, like, Morgan, that is crazy. Like, that is way over the top. That's crazy. But you know what it is? Like Morgan and I always have a joke with each other because we have like a mutual infatuation with each other's looks. So I always told her that, like, oh, this makes sense because her beauty's comparable to that craziness. So I'm like looking at her, I'm like, you would do something crazy like that because you look, your craziness almost matches the beauty in a way. But as far as like me telling Tony, I remember telling Tony, I'm like, yo, son, look, if I were you, man, I'd wear do-rags and hats to sleep, son, because Morgan is Morgan is on the hunt, man. If you're gonna upset Morgan, she's gonna do that. But I remember what Tony told me. Tony, and he makes a good point about this. He's like, Morgan is an extremely calculated, and believe it or not, Morgan is a very sound person when you talk to her, because I'm cool with Morgan also. So he said she knows who she's gonna do that to, and she knows who she's not gonna do that to. So his idea was like, she's not playing these games with me. So I was like, hey, man, you know, what am I gonna tell you? So, you know.
Yeah. You're not convinced, Aubrey, that she won't try that on Tony?
Here's the thing that I feel as a woman is she may not try that specific thing, but what we could see on the what it looked like to us as viewers, and myself especially, is that while she may not do the nair in the hair thing, but they're very toxic toward each other, right? There's this level of toxicity. There's this level of pettiness. There's this level of, I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to have this grand exit. And I'm not really understanding, what are we really accomplishing here as 40-year-old people? What are you guys really accomplishing? Right. These are the type of things that high schoolers do. Right. You know, I don't know, but that's just my point of view.
All right. You mind if I push back on that a little bit?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, because I hang out with Morgan and Tony. I've hung out with Morgan and Tony throughout the show. And just like I said, they edit the show down to, you know, very, very short segments. Other than that, like when I see Morgan and Tony, they're very chill with each other. So you're getting them in within the constraints of the show when they're frustrated with each other. So, you know, Tony's a little frustrated with Lyndon. So, you know, so you have this issue going on. But outside of this, when I see them together, they're, you know, they're chill. They get along. They're very nice. And I'm around them for many, many, many more hours than just being on the show. So although, yes, they do have their issues. Like I said, you can't excuse that kind of behavior. But that behavior doesn't extrapolate on a massive level throughout their life. I think this is just, you know, just bits and pieces of their relationship that you guys see on the show. Because from what I see, it's not as, at least when I'm around them, it's not as crazy as it seems when it's on TV. But like I said, when I'm watching, you know, when I'm watching it with everybody else, I'm even calling them on the phone. I'm like, yo, son, you look crazy right now. You walking around the house like the bad husband from the Medea movies and stuff, just you know, angry at everybody. But I'm like, but I know him personally, and I know Morgan personally. That's not the bulk of their relationship at all.
And it may not be, and I'm not even saying that it is. But here's the thing: like, so are the two of them still dating each other?
I think they're really still close, but I'm not sure if they're dating each other.
Okay.
That's interesting. So, but Mark Anthony, back to you for a second with your interactions with Jeffrey. Now, we were saying early on as we covered the show throughout the season, we was like, Jeffrey, you know, beautiful woman, but three kids, single, you know, we don't know what the situation is with the daddies and all this different kind of thing. So we were saying, we was like, listen, Mark Anthony don't want no parts of that, really. I mean, he's looking at her beauty and maybe trying to find a connection, but when real life begins after the show, I don't think he's ready for nothing like that. So did you feel that going through this process? Did we get that right?
Jeffrey's always been a great woman to me, but I knew from the beginning that I would not have anything serious with Jeffrey outside the show, because I knew from the get-go, I'm not doing 3 kids, man. 3 kids, I'm not raising 3 kids, ain't mine, man. That's straight up and down. I can't do it.
So we were right.
What if it had been one? What if it had just been one child?
I want my own family at every cost. I want my own family. The women knew this. Even Jeffrey knew this. We spoke about this. But the thing is that Jeffrey felt like if our connection was strong enough, should be able to change my mind. And like most people know, I'm notorious for being stubborn. So I know I'm not changing my mind. But I enjoy dating Jeffrey, and she's a pretty woman. So. I was like, yeah, I don't mind doing this this connection. This connection suits me fine.
Right. So in other words, I guess the viewers, or at least our chat, our show, we got that right. Because we was like, Mark Anthony, Mark Anthony don't want no parts of that as far as that goes. No. So you
not nothing serious, but casually, yeah.
Right. Yeah, because she's beautiful. You know what I mean? Yeah.
She's a good-looking woman, yeah.
Right. So after you kind of got off of Jeffrey, you put a lot more of your energy toward Mercedes. But as we got to the end of the show and the bridge, as you're there waiting for her, what are you thinking at that point? When you got the flowers and stuff, what are you thinking? What's on your mind?
Thinking, yo, where Mercedes at, man? Why you taking so long? No, I'm just thinking about what she's thinking. What is she possibly thinking? Is she going to choose herself? Is she going to choose me? How's how may life look after if she chooses me? How may not life look if she doesn't choose me? So these thoughts are going through my head, but at the same time, I'll trying to clear my head. Like, all right, let me just focus on the now. Let me wait until she comes. Let her express herself. Then I'll see what I could answer her with. But yeah, it was just a bunch of thoughts in my mind for the most part.
Now that was before she got there. Now she comes out looking beautiful. You got the flowers. She walk up to you and she tells you more or less, "Beat it, kid, you bother me." No, that's not
you know what? Yo, she was looking so good, I didn't even pay attention to that. I'm like, what? She was looking so good. She could have told me, yo, get out of here. I still would have been looking at her.
But she decided to choose herself in that moment.
Right.
I think the long distance thing at that point, she was thinking more about that. Do you agree, Aubrey, in that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask him. Were you surprised at when she said that? When she decided?
No, I wasn't really surprised because Mercedes and I, we kind of take pride of being very reasonable people. So once you're giving me a good reason on why you can't pursue, whether it's a relationship or friendship, whatever, I'm all ears. I don't take it personally. As long as the reason and the logic's good behind it, then I can't be upset.
Yeah.
Wow.
And truthfully speaking, in my mind, I'm like, I'm already connected to Mercedes. I'm gonna talk to her right after this. So I don't really care whether you pick me on the bridge or not. I never thought about Ready to Love as the end all be all. I'm like, I actually made a genuine connection with Mercedes. So whether she wants to pursue a relationship now or just not pursue a relationship, but we can maintain whatever connection we have right now, that's fine with me.
Yeah, because when your boy came up there meeting the best friends or whatever the case was, he kind of brought up the distance. Because we didn't know.
It was my cousin. It was my cousin Chris. Yeah,
because he's like, well, Mark Anthony's moving back to New York, and everybody's like, what? Before that, we didn't know that. So
you know what?
No, you can answer. Go ahead with that.
That actually this is why I have issues with these reality shows. That was a play that production made because Mercedes knew this way before. Even Jeffrey knew long before. What they did was, since we didn't really talk about it throughout the show, as a matter of fact, I actually mentioned it at my date with Mercedes with her ex-boyfriend when Anthony was there, but they cut that out. But what they did was they brought Mercedes back to do a post interview so she could actually show that she was shocked that she didn't know that I was going back to New York, because once she did when she gave me that reason at the end of the show, they actually had to make it make sense. So they had to make somebody say it. So when my cousin said it, that's the reasoning that they went for. But Mercedes knew this long before.
Right. Well, they probably had to do that for dramatic effect. We know how the shows are.
Dramatic effect, exactly.
Yeah, they got to create certain narratives and things like that. So
yeah, because because since I actually mentioned it on a date with her ex-boyfriend and her, and if they knew that, if the viewers knew that before, they'll be like, then this connection means nothing. We're just watching their connection just blossom for no reason if he's going back to New York. So they decided to hold out to the end for it.
Right. Okay. So you're on the bridge. She says she's choosing herself. Obviously, you have a connection. You're going to talk. You're going to talk after that. You guys already have a connection. Right. You're going to talk to after that. I have one more question about the reunion.
Yeah.
Because in the Tony Morgan fiasco and then Natasha and so forth, he kind of was hugged up on Marcia. Now, Aubrey and I go back and forth. Who was sitting up under who? Right? Was Marcia sitting up under him, or was he all up on her? And what's going on there?
He was all up under her, being an alpha male.
Tony and Marcia do have a good friendship. So I guess, like, you know, he's going through his tense, he's going through a very intense situation with Morgan. So obviously Marcia is really cool. So I guess he vibes with Marcia. But at the same time, you got to remember, the show kind of plays it to make it look like, oh, Morgan's over here having conniption, and, you know, Tony's in the back laid up with Marcia, you know, while, you know, Morgan's throwing a fit. Like, it doesn't really happen like that. You know, I'm sure this was filmed before, like right before we got to right before we start, not before filming, but, you know, right before, you know, people start getting on stage and everything like that, because I didn't see it at all. Anytime I saw Marcy, she was usually by herself or with the girls. So I saw what you guys saw.
Did you know that Kayla, who's also a friend of the show, you know, from the previous season of Miami, did you know she was seeing Blue at that time, that she was going to actually come out on stage?
Man, I had no idea. No idea. I mean, I heard there were rumors that Blue was bringing somebody out, but I had no idea it was a past cast member from the Miami season. So that you know, that was surprising to me too.
And you know who else is surprised? It's surprised Z.
Because wait a minute, what happened to Mark Anthony?
Z was not having it, yo.
Z was like,
let that go. She's like, what? Yeah. He's like, you was just talking to me last month, talking about this and that. I'm like, yo, Blue was under fire. Like he was in the hot seat for sure.
Y'all know Blue was a player.
Yeah, Blue, it's the eyes, man. It's the eyes. The eyes of a lie,
man. But I would love to know what he was saying to Z, because the looks he gave him, you know, if looks could kill, bro. You know,
if looks could kill, he'd be 6 feet under right now, because she was not having it. She just looked at him like, oh, word? Oh, this is what we doing. Okay.
Yeah, right. You know, so, but Blue is good. Blue cool people, man. So
yeah, Blue cool, man. Free Blue, man. Yeah, Blue cool people, man.
Yeah. So after Ready to Love is over now, you guys go through the whole season. Reunion's done. Now you're part of this kind of fraternity. You and I spoke, you know, briefly the other day about how you're forever linked now to these people through the show. You know, how has being on the show, having this exposure, changed your life, if at all?
It hasn't changed my life majorly, but it is still jarring to me when I walk to certain places and people are saying, oh, Mark Anthony. And I know they're recognizing me from the show because nobody from New York calls me Mark Anthony. You know, they call me by my nickname. So immediately, so I know they're like, okay, this person recognized me from the show. I did kind of underestimate the the rabid fan base of the show, you know. So yeah, there are times I'm walking outside where I do get stared at a little bit. So I know when people are squinting their eyes, I'm like, okay, they probably recognize me from the show or something like that. Or like when people just walk straight up to me and say Mark Anthony. And the number one question is always, oh, where's Mercedes? Like, I'm like, oh, Mercedes is out here living her life. I'm not walking with her hand in hand all the time. But you know, my funniest encounter was with Mercedes when I was actually in her hometown, and we did something for the finale, and she decided to have like a watch party finale. So she kind of took me around her town. So it was kind of it was fun seeing people's faces like, oh my God, you and Mercedes are actually, you know, linked together and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty fun to see people's reaction to something like that.
Yeah. Did you find your DMs on Instagram getting flooded all of a sudden?
You know, it's funny.
You living vicariously, sir. I'm sorry, Mark Anthony. This guy.
I remember right before the show dropped, I think I was talking to Marcia and Morgan, and they're like, Mark, you better brace up because those DMs are gonna get out of control. But I mean, they're not out of control, but certain like most people that go into my DMs, they usually say they're just a fan of the show, they like me on the show, or they like my connection with Mercedes, or you know, they'd ask certain questions. But you know, yeah, here and there, you know, I might have a woman say, "Oh my God, you're so handsome" and stuff like that, which I really appreciate. But most people are just they're very nice. You know, they're just here to show their gratitude for the show.
Yeah, you notice as I was promoting this interview, you know, I was kind of playing on words. I'm a writer, so I love to play with words.
I see the Saint go marching in. I peeped that.
Yeah, the Saints go marching in. Is Mark Anthony a saint? You know,
yeah, I like that.
You know, so I kind of play with words, but you know, how is that really now? You don't have to get specific, but are you actively dating, or you know, are you just chilling?
Right now, I'd say I'm dating, but I'm not dating seriously right now. Like so I'm just trying to chill a little bit, focus much more on getting this program I'm entering for pilot school. So I'm just trying to focus a little bit much more about on that. So I'm not, you know, I'm not treating it like it's my 20s anymore, man. I don't have like 5-10 girls, you know, all over in Queens and the Bronx and, you know, uptown, downtown. I'm kind of like, you know, chilling for the most part now.
Yeah. Okay. So as we begin to wrap, and you mentioned in this, you leading toward this. Now that you're going to take the piloting thing serious, and that's serious because pilots, you know, that's big deal.
Yeah,
all right?
that's a big deal. Absolutely.
At this point, maybe after your piloting, if you become a pilot or whatever, do you have family aspirations at that point? Do you want to have children and a wife, or?
Yeah, I do have family aspirations at that point, but I'm somebody who stresses financial security when it comes to men and family, because I don't think, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think as a man you deserve a family if you can't provide for your family. That's just how I feel. So it's either I'm going to be able to provide for my family, or I'll just be a bachelor for the rest of my life. So it's just, there is no gray area for me when it comes to this.
And the children has to be yours from your wife. You're not dealing with any outside children.
No outside children. That baby got to look like me or my wife. It's got or a combination of both. You know, I have to have my own children. I need my progeny. You know, there's a closeness about that I want. And it's not faulting, you know, women with kids and everything like. But for me, it's something I can't just. I need my own family. I just can't see it any differently.
So having said that, Mark Anthony, it's saying to me also that you feel like, or you planning to be this responsible, loving, protective, and providing husband for your wife and for your family. You take family and your legacy very seriously.
Yeah, I take it very seriously. I think my belief is having making a decision to have a family is the single most important decision I think anybody's gonna make in their life. You know, I don't care if you make $1 billion, inventing something. It's never gonna be as sentimental as having a family. And this is not something that you could redo. You could redo pretty much a lot of things, but you can't redo having a family unless you want to just, just abandon your family and start the next. But I can't do that, But so I take it very not quite a good idea for me. So I take that very seriously.
Wow. You see a lot of women in the chat clapping. Amen, Mark Anthony. Hey, they love that. They love that. Look at Roro. Yeah, Roro for real. Look at that, Mark Anthony. You see that?
That's right. That's right. I said bravo. Yeah, Roro is our roving reporter, co-host. She is the Jill of all trades.
The Jill of all trades. What's up, Roro?
So moving forward,
wait. While I got him, can you say bonjour, Roro?
Oh, jeez.
Bonjour, Roro. or it's actually nighttime, so it's bonjour, Roro.
Roro. She's over there blushing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I could do that. Ruby Roo. I could do it.
Let me cut. Where's the button to cut your mic off?
Yo, Al, you kind of sounded like Scooby-Doo when you did that.
That's what I was trying to do. That's what I was going for.
It's just a big kid.
Yo, Alex is my man, yo. Alex is my man.
Wow. I appreciate that, bro. And I'm gonna tell you, man, as we wind down, we appreciate you so much, man.
I'm sorry. We got one last request. Can you say something romantical to our special moderator, Monique King, who is your biggest #1 fan? Can you say something to Monique King? Wow. Yeah, yes, she is.
Monique King.
She's up there on the screen, her picture, and I think she's single too. Monique, he's gonna say something for you.
I guess Monique King, vous êtes une belle madame. So Monique King, you are a beautiful woman or a pretty woman.
Yeah.
I think
pretty woman, Monique King. Pretty woman. All right. Thank you so much, Mark Anthony. You're wonderful.
Not a problem.
Man. So from this day forward, you're the last guy to come up here to look better than me. That's it. This is over with.
It's downhill from there. You gotta get.
Yeah. You gotta get the ugly guys. I can't take it no more.
The brothers from under the stairs. You gotta get them.
Yeah. I can't take it. This is it, Aubrey. Have your fun, Aubrey, because this is it.
I don't know. I'm just sitting here. The Moscato has gotten to me, so
the Moscato.
You can say the benediction.
Yo, Alex, Aubrey gonna turn into blue.
Yeah. Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
I like to see that.
I wouldn't. That's okay.
Oh my God! So Mark Anthony, how can these fans not you having any trouble, but how can these fans find you? Roll with you. Follow you on any social media platforms. How can they do that?
They can find me on IG. It's Saint P 101 on IG, and that's pretty much it for my my handle, my media, at least my platforms. That's pretty much it.
Do you check daily in with that stuff? You're not on social media that often.
I check it once in a while because I usually have conversations with my cousin and my brother. They'll send stuff from time to time, but I'm not on it constantly.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you, man, we appreciate you. I'm sure Aubrey does as she get drunk over there.
I'm never drunk, sir.
And by the way, I know for the viewers, when I said blue is an inside joke. It's not blue from the show. So just in case somebody, just in case somebody, just in case they like,
that kind of went over
like,
my head too. But I said, okay, I'll go along with it. I don't know.
Okay. But you are, like we say to all the, RTL alum, you guys are family now. You graced our stage. You came to us and spoke, and very likable, obviously very nice looking guy, and all that. So we definitely appreciate you. Come back anytime. If you want to come back before the beginning of next season, maybe come on with us on a panel, because you got inside information now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's partly true. Yeah. I guess I could lend some of my insight.
Right. You know what I mean?
Well, we have a ball over here, because trust me, it's a lot better when it's the other side, when you're looking back and looking at other castmates. It's a lot more fun.
I can imagine. And the funny thing is that now, anytime I don't watch reality shows, but anytime it's on TV, I feel like I could spot bad edits now. Like, I'm like, oh no, this person said this, but that wasn't an answer to this. I know this for a fact. So it's actually funny. Just you're able to kind of catch these minor issues now.
Wow. And so before you let you go, Mark Anthony, one more year.
Wait a minute, Jay. Oh gosh, what in the world?
Yo, this is the best thing I've seen by far. This is the best thing I've seen by far. You gotta show the shirt.
Show the shirt.
Okay. Yeah, gotta show the shirt.
Show the shirt. Gotta show the magic shirt.
Oh my gosh.
Green Lantern in the building.
Oh my goodness.
In the building, I'm telling you.
So thanks. Yeah, thank you, bro.
Look at what Jay said.
No doubt.
They're trying to get Mark Anthony to take Ron. No one can take Ron's place, by the way. No one.
Yeah.
No one. He is our standing Kevin Samuels here.
I'm not trying to steal anybody's job, man. I'm not trying to kick anybody out.
No, I know. We know. We're just having fun.
Oh my God. So Aubrey, if she can get sober, Mark Anthony, she gonna drop you down.
Oh yes.
And you could
all right, it's that time. Okay, well, say bye one last time, Mark Anthony. And we've enjoyed you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, man. Good night, you guys. Good night to the viewers. I appreciate you guys tuning in, watching this show, and actually watching Ready to Love. I deeply appreciate it.
Yes.
Well, you have made it a most enjoyable season, and thank you, sir, very much.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. We'll be in touch.
Everybody. Yeah,
all
most
right.
Most definitely.
All right.
Wow. Are you finished fanning yourself, Aubrey? Drinking and fanning yourself? Are you finished?
I've decided to turn the air conditioning on at this point. Mark Anthony is fine, but you know what it is about him that I like? Because I can look a fine man in the eyes and not really even care. But you know what I learned about him tonight? He is actually a very likable young man. He is very sensible. He's a well-spoken person, and it's a lot of the qualities that I didn't quite get a chance to see because we really didn't hear a lot from him. But I really feel like he's going places. He's going good places, and I like that.
Yeah, I think he really got his priorities straight, particularly with children and family. He really got his mind in the right place.
Yeah.
When it comes to building a family, And I definitely can appreciate that. I'm pretty sure you and the women in the chat can also appreciate that as we've seen. Absolutely. So yeah, look at Donna D. Enjoyed you, handsome Mark Anthony. Well, Donna D, I'll be the prettiest man up here from now on. So y'all can stop all this.
Oh Lord, did I tell you about Ron being my next co-host?
My goodness.
What do we have? I'm just trying to think. For once, we finally left after all these interviews. And this is the second day, by the way, guys, that we've had Mark Anthony. We had Mark Anthony from Bravo's Queen Court last night, and tonight we have Ready to Love Mark Anthony. So 2
Yep.
nights in a row. So, you know, should we find another Mark Anthony for tomorrow night?
I don't know. You going for the hat trick. You know, that's hockey for 3 goals. You going for the hat trick. So
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
So
Well,
we'll see.
we'll shimmy and we're gonna shimmy and shake on out of here. We don't if you don't have any other announcements that you want to make.
No, I really enjoy Mark Anthony. Pleasantly surprised with him and his personality. And
Exactly.
thank you, Donna D. She said I'm pretty too.
I'm thinking she probably hasn't been to the what's the doctor called that examines your eyes on a yearly basis?
Maybe she's been drinking.
It's been a while for her. It's been a while. She's been lonely.
Well, thank you, Donna D.
No, but we're gonna shimmy and shake on out of here, and we'll be back, I guess, Sunday with Married at First Sight, and then back again on Tuesday with Put a Ring on It, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they're saying that they want to get some, they want to try to get Marcia in here, so we'll see about what we can do about that, right?
Yes, absolutely. We're working on it.
Yep. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you really want all these things to take place. So that makes it happen. All right.
All
Guys,
righty.
we're gonna shimmy and shake on out of here. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. Take care.
Good. Don't you say that L word. Don't you let it come out your mouth. Your stinking, nasty, dirty mouth.